Alright, so we're going to be doing the full tier list for global launch, barring a few characters which I believe either I forgot, very possible I forgot, or just don't really have much value for your account. If I do forget any that I think are going to be on this rating, well, I will add them afterwards. Now, let me change the tier names because I reset it before starting the video. So these are the rankings. All right, gods are just going to be really good and like a perfect addition to your account. Now, this is not going to be for rerolls, very much for like the first 2 weeks of your account. I'm not saying necessarily these are the ones you want for the early gacha or the ones you want from the SSR ticket. It's just going to be overall explaining all the units and where they rank in the game as of right now. I'm going to put all the sources I use down below, and also I got help from a lot of people in the Discord, so thank you very much, the fan Discord. So thank you very much to everyone for helping me out. I have a good gist of pretty much all the units coming out now, I would say. So I really do appreciate the help from everyone involved, but we are going to get into this for the global launch, including any rares that are also good, because there are actually some good ones, which is something I'm pretty happy about. So we're going to start with the lower tier units and go up to the higher tier. If you want to hear the explanations and how these units work, then feel free to just stick by. All right. So essentially this is S plus, S, A. I'm gonna put the tiers. Oh, I can't do my brackets. All right, so then this is S, and then this is A. All right, and then this is B. All right, and then this is C, basically. I don't really think we need to go lower than C. I'm just ranking the units that I think you guys should have on your radar. The rest, it's either, like I said, I forgot. I didn't know they came out. Ooh, I think there is one. I think there are at least one that I forgot, so we're going to get to her a bit later. But besides that, this is what I know of the units coming out right now. So we're going to start. Okay, I do have the wiki open, and we're going to go through this, right? So for now, we're going to be... let me open up for all the different ones. So rarity, and then we're going to go for SR, and then we're going to go for rare, because there are some rare units. All right, so starting off, unfortunately, Maki is not getting treated too well at launch. Okay, I should probably open another tab. So as for Maki, she's basically just doing damage and decreasing single target damage, right? So the single target damage decrease could be good for bosses, but besides that, she has an AoE hit and then single target 2 hits, right? This one, considering it's 2 hits, it's not horrible, but considering she also has an AoE pretty low overall, and that she decreases damage, you would consider her more of a boss unit and a boss like a nullifier, you could say. So like that's the main thing. Now she does increase her taijutsu, which isn't bad, but still. And then it's odd because the more enemies in the wave, the greater the damage boost, but then she lowers single target taijutsu damage. So overall, it's nothing crazy. She really just has a debuff and like okay damage going for her as an SSR and like decent stats, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. All right. There's not really much more to say for that. I mean, she's unfortunately a bit mediocre, and like from what I'm seeing, all the tier lists and people kind of agree with that fact, right? Now next up, let's pull her up. Let's pull her up. Hold on, what color was she? Yeah, okay, yellow. All right, so I opened her up in another. Let's open up. So all right, so she isn't really doing too much, all right. But she has some gimmicks like having a chance to stun, 50% chance, and then she increases her damage here, all right, if they're in a state, right? Besides that, like, it's not really anything crazy. She's bottom of the barrel. Stunning really is like one of her main things, okay? So, you know, I don't really have much to say about her. I'm not going to act like I know too much about Maya. I did not look crazy amounts into her, but it seems like people didn't agree. Did agree that she was not looking too crazy. Now, next up, Mekamaru. Let's open that again. I think it was green, correct? Yep, there we go. So, as for him, all right, he does have, if I remember correctly, like, basically not much damage. AoE, double AoE damage is not bad, okay? His stats are slightly low, but considering it's Jujutsu, it's fine, all right? Like, this is cool, I guess. It's just, you know, he's just doing AoE damage. If you need someone like that, go ahead, but it's like, it really is eh. And then, we do have the GOAT, okay? I'm actually kind of sad. Oh my god, I keep on doing that. I am kind of sad that Hanami is, like kind of this bad, but like really, like if you're looking at him, like he has a domain, which is pretty cool, right? Having the domains is nice. Like Jogo's is pretty good. And his grants guaranteed hit effect and attack immunity nullification, which I would like to say is basically you're able to do damage to Gojo, correct? Decreases all enemies damage by 16.9. I'd rather AoE damage decrease, but you're unable to fill your own ultimate skill gauge, right? So he is going to be able to heal every turn, all right? And then heal his cursed energy by 10, right? Which isn't bad, right? Considering his points. Now, this is just damage. This is just damage. This also is able to increase his alt skill gauge. Now, 4 hits is actually going to be pretty good. I feel like this alt is pretty nice. But that's kind of all he's got for him, really. The domain's nice. Now, next up, Nanami, like, people, from what I've seen, either B or A. Okay. I'm gonna lean more towards B to kind of fill up B a bit, but also because A's pretty stacked in comparison. So let's go over the GOAT. Honestly, I need low-key, I wouldn't even be mad if he got something for anniversary. His art, by the way, fire, favorite art. One of my favorite, not my favorite, but when I saw this one, very, very good. So this is damage. Then here it increases his crit rate by 83 for 4 turns, very good, and break damage. Now here, deals melee combined damage, okay, and then his ult is going to be 8 hits, right, pretty good. Now his combo ultimate is, he's going to increase crit rate of him and the ally, and the black flash rate by 10% for 2 turns, and then it's an AoE. Okay, now this is just, the problem with it is that, like, sure, if you last this long, great, but, like, the one thing about it, when you look at it this way, Gojo's gone by the time Nanami's doing this. So that's the one thing where it's like, I've seen like people say that he can cook, okay, but getting the cursed energy, ultimate skill gauge, and then Jujutsu damage is kind of like a last resort, which I kind of like. But overall, like, and then here at the start of turn 9 again. So I mean, this crit rate is pretty nice. He should be doing decent damage, but overall should not be that crazy, but it is a pretty nice AoE, which is why I'd say he's a bit higher than Maki and like these for their AoEs, because 8 hits, right, you do this, I mean, that is pretty nice, especially considering his crit rate, which crits do increase by 1.5%. So that is all pretty good, right? Now next up, we do have Megumi. I didn't really like his kit, if I'm being honest. It was just like it was really mediocre. I'm happy. Was it a yellow one? I didn't read it, but I'm happy he did get another one recently. So this one, I don't know what it is. Like his stats, these stats aren't horrible from like just comparison. But it's really all dependent on his ult, which is like activating this dog, which increases break damage and his damage received. Then 599 to selected enemy is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's really not that much. This is an okay AoE, alright? And here, basically, it has a chance to stun 98%, so you're basically stunning. And then with it active, you have a increase in break, right? And then here, increase in break again. So, like, it's okay for the break. And then you increase your decrease your damage received, and then increase your own damage. It's just nothing special. He has the stun. The totality is just decreasing his damage, but he is a, like, I don't get it. I kind of don't. I don't know. He is a... Hold on. Does that count as a attacker? Yeah, so he is in the damage side, so... I don't know. A bit odd. I do find that pretty odd. I don't know. I feel like a Megumi deserved better. Now, Panda is here. Okay, you could argue if you want for Panda to be a bit higher, but it is the rare Panda. Okay, the other Panda, I mean, logically, you could kind of assume is higher. But now this is why I have a rare. Was he yellow, blue, yellow? All right, perfect. So this Panda is actually, I like him. Damage reduction, okay, and then here taunt, AoE taunt, and then damage reduction for 1 turn. So how you could play this is you use this first turn if you think you're safe, and then second turn you use this, and you're gonna have, pretty sure it should stack, so you should have everything, right? All that damage reduction. This kind of unimportant, does damage, okay damage, but that's kind of it. So like he could work as a pretty decent taunt unit. That's his role, right? That is his role. Now talking about Panda, we do have another Panda in Great. All right, so he's gonna be the first unit that we do place here, and in terms of what he's doing, he is going to be in a similar role, but he can actually be like a kind of hybrid. All right. So you check here. All right, so let's start with the passives. At the start of the battle, grants revival status to self one time, very strong, and then decrease damage by 10% just outright, very nice. Now his skill 2 is an AoE taunt, damage reduction, and then if he's in gorilla mode, it's gonna change the skill into I'm kind of pissed now, which increases his taijutsu damage by 121%, very high. Now we could check his ult. All right, what does it do? Increases taijutsu damage by 38%. Removes all decreased damage effects, increases own break damage, unable to fill alt skill gauge, and then 843 to selected target. And then if you combine it with this, it's going to do more damage considering all that. And then here, increasing break damage, and then skill 2 is going to just do an AoE. So overall though, like you could either have him as a tank with this, and including this, and the ability to revive, or as a DPS who's still able to revive. Which is why like you could have some pretty fun gimmicks if you do like the boy Panda. Now I placed Inumaki here. Now I do remember slightly of what he does, but I will need to pull up for a bit of extra help in guiding me for this one. I mean, he does sacrifice his HP from what I remember. So basically, yeah, sacrifice HP, but here he does heal 23%, not bad. Here it's just damage, okay. But basically, there are some things that are good about him, and let's talk about it. So basically, increases the selected enemy's damage received by 23% for 2 turns, good, 2 turns, nice. And then does some damage and increasing his own break damage. And then here, healing, which is going to be good. But then it's also nullifies 1 fatal attack to self or an ally. The part that it says an ally makes it very strong. And then he's able to heal himself, which is pretty good. Now, I mean, it does combo pretty well. It's just the sacrificing kind of sucks. So you could stick to like the skill 2 and the skill 1. But then if you're fighting the boss, then obviously you can use this. It's only 5%. Now you can't die to it, by the way. You can't die to take like reducing your own health. But having this there is pretty good. I do like this a lot. Yeah, especially if you combo this with Gojo. If they're hitting Gojo, then you could save this for other allies too. I think this is actually a very nice ability to have. So W for there. Now, I was talking about Jogo a bit. I do like his domain. I mean, listen, I'm always a sucker for DOT units, and he actually has an AoE DOT. So we'll pull that up. I didn't know he was coming out on launch. I don't know what it was, but his art did not scream launch. So basically, it's on this AoE, right? 599%, domain for 4 turns, guaranteed hit effect and attack immunity nullification to self. Then 79% burn damage, basically, for 4 turns. Because it's a 4-turn domain, right? Unless I'm mistaken. Crit rate by 200%, increases damage by 60, damage reduction by 30, cursed energy by 59, and then you can't fill skill gauge. And then here you could hit a random enemy 3 times. Here selected enemy, and then here selected enemy. So like, bro, pretty good. Did they change? That feels a lot higher than what the other units were. So let me know down below what's up with that. Please let me know. Yeah. And then here, he could increase his own Jujutsu damage further, and then he recovers own cursed energy. And considering it has 110, I mean, we'll definitely take that, and he's not using up that much. So I'd say that's good. Like, this domain to me feels very powerful. And I'm probably going to like Jogo a lot personally. I don't know. I really like DOT units, and if I could make him shine, all the better. Now this is one unit I never remember her name. Okay, she's someone, it's just always gonna evade me, and it is an SR, so that might be why. Okay, Momo. I'm gonna have to remember that. Gotchas, one thing that Gotchas helped me with is remembering names. I remember Phantom Knights, when I was playing Black Clover Phantom Knights, one of the things is it helped me remember a lot of the names I didn't remember, and this is definitely gonna be part of it. So let's talk about it. Basically, her main thing is increasing all allies damage, right, 1 time, and then evasion status to self, not bad. Then stuns all enemies with a 86% chance, and then evasion to self 1 time. Very strong, and then same thing on ult. Stun 79, evasion again. And then she could also increase 1 random enemy's damage received by 6.7% for 2 turns, every wave, which is nice. And yeah, so honestly, that is pretty good. I like the stuns. It is a fun little gimmick with her evading. I think having someone to evade is not bad and could definitely be used, right, as a support unit. So we take it. Now we got Inumaki again. Okay, again. Now this one is used for a different type of gimmick, which I was made aware of. And basically, how this one works is he's going to sacrifice again. But it's mainly a skill 2, which is going to decrease that all allies damage received twice for 2 turns. 43%, but then also filling all allies' ultimate skill gauge by 213, which could be like a fifth or like a fourth, depending. Is it ever a fourth? I don't know, but about a fifth of an ally's gauge, which is very strong. And then he has a pretty much like guaranteed chance to stun almost, pretty much, right? And then that's basically it. So stun and then this alt gauge alongside damage reduction. I mean, AoE damage reduction for everyone. You can't really go wrong with that, right? You really can't. So, you know, we do take it. We do take it. There's not really much more to say for that, but Inumaki with that alt increase is pretty nice. Now, next up, this one hurts a bit. Toto is an A. I wouldn't like this. He has some fun gimmicks with this counter, which we're going to talk about, but that's kind of it, right? So basically how it works is alt puts a best friend, right? Status, or sorry, is it the skill 2? Okay, it's the skill 2. So the skill 2 puts the best friend status to the person behind them for 3 turns. And then also increasing taijutsu damage of that ally. Basically deals 70% taijutsu damage as a counter, okay? When they're hit, inflicts the confusion status on the countered enemy. Very strong. And then counter requires 10 cursed energy to activate, okay? And then counter will not activate if the ally has evasion status or attack immunity. So keep that in mind, but you could do some damage with the stun. Very strong. Or confusion is stun, yeah, okay. And besides that, like his alt is going to do some damage, pretty good damage, increase crit rate, and then also increase the allies' crit rate, which could be good with Itadori, especially since Itadori is a crit unit. And then when an enemy is defeated, he gets some extra damage here, which is nice, and then here selected, and then confusion. So, good stuff. Nice stuns could be good damage, and a pretty okay support, especially with Itadori, which we'll talk about very soon. But then we got Miwa, which I liked her kit, and then I realized it's not as great as it seems, unfortunately, but it's still decent. She's basically a dodger, taunt dodger. The problem is, from what I was told, it doesn't dodge AoEs. Very unfortunate. But she's a 2-turn taunt, and then she can only evade once, but for 2 turns, which is a bit rough. And then she increases her own taijutsu damage, which I don't think is the way they should have went with this. And then here she's gonna get the counter status, which just does damage. And then here just damage. So it's really just AoE taunt that could work well, because you could also you're also gonna taunt extra here. So it's like if she's built okay enough to like take it, sure, but she's not gonna dodge too many times and won't even be able to dodge all the attacks. So it's like she could be good, or she could be just whatever. And now we get to Itadori, which I was talking about a bit. All right. So why I was talking about him? Well, for the crits. So he's gonna be, from what I remember, crit and black flash unit. So that's going to be good. Extra damage with a Black Flash and then crits, right? So 89% for 3 turns, then Black Flash, then ultimate skill gauge by 150. He has a bit of a higher skill gauge. So yeah, he's going to... This is decent, right? Decent. Then on here, right, pretty good damage. Considering the crit, you have to consider that in mind. Decreases the enemy's crit hit resistance by 20%, which is definitely going to be in line with an extra 34%. And then he's going to get some resistances. But like you're probably going to want to put him with Toto to get that guaranteed increases. But overall, his damage, from what I know, is going to be decent. But 3 hits is actually going to be quite strong. If you get that crit, you multiply this by 1.5. And then with the Black Flashes, he could get increase in. Yeah, I think him with Toto could be a fun little combo that you guys should definitely try out if you end up pulling them by the end. Now we got our goated support units. Number 1, Nanami. So Nanami... He was right there. Nanami, let's go over him. So, increases all allies' damage, increases his own damage. This is excluding self, but for 4 turns, very strong. And then here, increasing all allies' damage again for 2 turns. Okay, so that damage increases is very strong, especially at the beginning of the game for global launch. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. You're going to want extra damage. We definitely take it. Okay, we do. We'll definitely take that. So extra damage twice AoE. We cannot complain. Now, we got the original unit, which, ashamed to say, I do not know his name. So let's learn it together. It is Kaito Yuki. So I'm going to call him Yuki. Yuki's going to be easier for me, but maybe in the future I'll switch to Kaito. So he's going to be, well, basically here, decreasing damage. Then decreasing ally damage, right? Then here, increasing the selected ally's Jujutsu damage, attack nullification to the selected ally, which is basically Gojo's ability. So very strong skill 3. Yeah. And then he could stun with 150% chance. Great. I don't really get the extra over 100, but you guys could let me know down below if you know why it's over 100%. But yeah, so then here, kind of basic stuff. But we take it. This is just very strong to have for 3 turns twice. Yeah, and then increasing the damage of them. So this is a very good skill for DPS because obviously they could be more squishy, but then you're also letting them do more damage, which is absolutely amazing. And then we got our last unit, another Yuki. Great. So this Yuki, let's open him right now and go over what he does. So here, decreases allies damage received, but it's only one time. Okay, keep that in mind, and it's selected. It's a bit of a different case. Then here, it recovers all allies cursed energy by 10 every turn twice, so 20 energy. And then here, insane, 128% increased damage for one turn, or one time, but for 3 turns. So you could build this up. You could definitely build this up with like Itadori. I'm pretty sure, is he Jujutsu? Hold on. What? Did I? Shit. Let's open it again. SSR. All right, I just want to see Itadori real quick. Is he based off of he's off Taijutsu. Okay, so he would not work with Itadori, which is a bit unfortunate. That would have been really nice, because 128, and then you get one big hit. Does it work with Nanami? Is he Jujutsu? Tai and Jujutsu. Okay, what about Nobara? I don't think it would work with Nobara though. Would it? What is she? She has higher Jujutsu. It could work with Nobara, especially for the ult. Yeah, we'll have to see for that. But let's go back. All right, perfect. So that's it for that, right? He's gonna have some decent support. Those two have decent support. But now we get to the gods of the game. Well, obviously, number 1 for God is Gojo. He doesn't take damage for the first 7 turns and has an AoE and increases his own damage by 124% just outright with a 1000 AoE. Very, very strong. But it's mainly he doesn't take damage. Like, he doesn't. For 7 until he leaves, he doesn't take damage. There's really not much more to say. There really isn't. And just as a little flex, they gave him more HP than the average unit, but it's like you can't even use it because he's not taking damage. But then this damage plus AoE, if you build him up with, oh yeah, no wait, that unit could be good with him. The Yuki could be good with him because you increase the Jujutsu damage. Then this could be a strong AoE. Yeah. Now next up we got Nobara. Where's the girl? So Nobara is working in a similar fashion. She could be fun. I actually really like her design. So for Nobara, let's go back to SSR. All right, so for her, how she works. Oh my god, opera. So here, basically, skill 1 puts nail counts on everyone for 3 turns. So then you could put it on 2 units, basically, or you could, basically, the optimal rotation, buff, put 2 of these on 2 units, and then you ult and it hits every unit with nails. Or you put it on 1 unit and then they take increased damage with more nails. Could be pretty interesting. Especially with this Jujutsu, yeah. The Yuki's gonna work pretty well with this person for sure. With this person, Nobara, for sure. She's gonna have like either some AoE potential. It's just 3 turns means you can only do it 2 or 3 times technically, depending. So like that's the thing. But you could still get some pretty good stuff with this. With this one for sure. And then it also increases the selected enemy's nail count by 3 for 3 turns. So you could start stacking them, which I like this type of unit. I find it pretty fun. And then, God of the game for supporters. So, Yaga. Let's go over him. AoE, Taijutsu, Jujutsu increase. Very strong. Then, he makes them take more damage by 47%. And then, he decreases the amount of damage they do while increasing the amount of damage they take. So yeah, he's doing everything. Decreasing their damage, increasing your damage, and increasing the damage they take. So basically everything. As a support, very strong, and it's technically this AoE, and then here, right, it is single target, but versus bosses, you're hitting all the marks, right? You're hitting all the marks. This is basically the tier list, right? I just want to verify for the other OC, because I do not remember. If she was really that crazy. I do not remember her being crazy. Yeah, no, I don't need to include her. Okay, great. So that's the tier list. Let me know what you think. let me know if this was well explained. I'm very interested to see if you like this type of commentary. And that's going to be it. We have a lot of SSRs to look forward to. The ones I'm looking forward to is the Megumi, Geto, Yuta, Gojo, obviously, another Geto, obviously Toji. I would like another Toji. And then the Maki, if she's good. I don't know if she is. My two, and obviously Nanami. And Nanami. Basically have to, and oh my god, everyone, basically. Jesus. That's crazy. Alright, this is a stacked roster. I'll see you guys in the next one. Actually, let me go get something. So, first of all, make sure you sign in. I just signed in for the last day to get it up to 700. And now they have an actual counter, which for me, it's perfectly 2 days away at the time of recording. And then make sure you do your gacha. Very unfortunately, I'm just not getting anything, guys. I'm not. Like, I'm getting the 1,000 more. Like, how many times have I got? Oh, no, I've only gotten it once, huh? Yeah, okay. It's unfortunate. I'm just gonna have to pick Yaga, I guess, and then I'll see for the recollection. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think. I just wanted to say, do the early gachas, sign in for your cubes, and that is it. This is the tier list. Let me know what you think of it, and if it helped you with this video. Like and subscribe if you are new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.